Good morning and welcome to Authentic Conversations with Moji. Today, we're going to cleanse the air first because this is going to be a topic that's very, very upsetting to a lot of people. The truth is always very upsetting. My name is Moji Solar-WIlson, and this is Authentic Conversations with Moji. Welcome. And yes, that's how I choose to start my day. Welcome to Authentic Conversations with Moji. Today's topic is mainly to my Nigerian folks, and I will say my Nigerian folks because we are at an intersection for change, and it's really truly up to us to create the wave of change that we're looking for in Nigeria and Africa in general. We already know that statistics shows that Nigeria is one of the most misogynistic countries. We're also one of the poorest countries, if not the poorest country. We actually never carry last. So of course we had to beat India out of being the poorest country in the world. So yeah, that's where we are. Our currency has diminished to the point where our currency is now 565 naira to $1. There's police brutality, there's kidnapping, there's absolutely no security. People, 80% of the population actually no, it went down a little. 71% of the population is living below poverty level. So how do we make the change? Unfortunately, we keep pointing the fingers just at the government as opposed to saying, hey, should we look inward and ask ourselves, what can we as individuals do to change the system? And people are not willing to do that. And for those of us that continue to speak out, in truth, saying, hey, let's look at ourselves, we are being deemed unpatriotic, we are being deemed unsupportive of the government, we're being deemed of not being loyal to the country. In my case, I really don't know how I can be loyal to a country that woke up one morning and deemed homosexuals criminals, punishable with a 14-year law for something that I, Moji, am not in control of. But that's not the topic today. The topic today is we want SARS to end. SARS can end, but can the SARS mentality, which is the issue for me and a lot of other Nigerians like me, SARS mentality, how do we end it? That is the question. So let's start with what is SARS mentality. We know that you can't do any business in Nigeria as anybody. The international market is very, very small. Investments are not coming into Nigeria because of the corruption from the top all the way to the layman. Basically saying from the moment you get into the airport, people will be asking you, Oga, what do you have for me? Which is, give me a bribe. Before you do anything in Nigeria, in most cases, you have to bribe somebody. You cannot just show up at a government office to fill out a form. You can't get into universities or colleges, period, without knowing somebody or knowing somebody that knows somebody. And there's always everything has become transactional in our culture, including marriages, dating people, having boyfriends and girlfriends. Everything is transactional in Nigeria. So when we talk about ending SARS, we can't just focus on the government changing because we, the people, are the ones that will end up in government spaces. We will be the ones ruling because the youth are now trying to take over the government. Yeah, they are, and they should, because it's their future that's at stake. For people that are in my age gap, I don't think a lot of the changes that we're fighting for will actually really do see in my lifetime. But we can't continue to point the finger, because the moment we continue to point the finger at everybody else, guess what happens? nothing changes. My name is Moji Solar-WIlson. This is Authentic Conversations that we have in the hope that we can create authentic transformations. Hang tight, share the video for me if you're on here. If you're not, please invite your friends to join the conversation. I also put a link there that you are more than welcome to click on the link and come into the studio with me. Hi, welcome back. This is Moji Solar-WIlson of Authentic Conversations in the hopes that we can have authentic transformations. So if you're here, please say hello so I know that you're there. And if not, I'm going to continue to talk anyway. So question is, SARS mentality, who is to blame? You know, it's something I've been talking about for a few years now. And the deeper I go into the topic, the more I realize that we are all to blame. It's not just the government, in my opinion. It's not just the government. It's not just the police. It's not the SARS people themselves, because SARS are people just like you and I. So when we talk about authentic conversations, we have to be able to look within us and ask ourselves, what is our contribution to this madness called Nigeria? Why is Nigeria about to implode, where the Igbos are going to the left and the Yorubas want their own country, and everybody's like, you know, totally disheveled. Nobody knows what tomorrow will bring because Boko Haram has taken over and the government is not really doing much about it. But is it the government or is it us? Because we pick the government, right? We are the ones that decide who the government is. We are the one that votes for these people. And if we are the ones that continue, right, to pick the wrong people, then is it them? Or is it us? That is my question. Who is to blame? On this show, we speak in truth. Yes, we touch a lot of nerves and it's nothing intentional. So take a college student that wants to go to university. Most in other countries, university is attended, admission to university is based on your merit. In Nigeria, admission to university is based on who you know, who your parents know, how much money your parents are willing to buy you a seat in university. And if you're that person who's getting ready to go to university and you depend on your parents to pay your way into college, then you and your parents are part of the problem. Because the SARS mentality is so much deeper. It's so ingrained in everyday society. You cannot be on a street corner or just minding your business on the street without the police coming to you and asking you for a bribe. So you're thinking, oh, well, I'm not the police that's asking for a bribe, but the very moment you give a bribe, you are part of the problem. Red lights, most people in Nigeria don't stop at red lights because they know that if they get a ticket, instead of getting a ticket, rather, they can just pay somebody. They can just pay the cops. If you get arrested for murder, for anything, you can buy your way out of it. Judges collect bribes in Nigeria in open daylight. It's not even a secret. Everybody knows how Nigeria works. And the biggest problem for me is when people say, oh, by the way, yeah, that's just how Nigeria works here. That's how things work. So you just have to go with the flow. But if we continue to go with the flow, well, then we can ask for EndSARS. And the SARS mentality is why Nigeria is where it is. Where the SARS mentality, the definition for me, I don't know what it is for you, but the definition of the SARS mentality for me are people that do not have respect of themselves. They do not value the lives of other people. They don't respect the law. They do not abide by the law that's supposed to govern all of us. The rich have a particular set of laws. The Northerners have a particular set of laws. The Christians have a particular set of laws. There's no law that truly governs the whole of Nigeria. When a rich person commits a crime, 90% of the time they're getting away with it. When an innocent person is harassed by the police and arrested, they're rotting in jail unless there's somebody there. When a gay person is arrested, just for being themselves, just for walking down the street. As long as their parents are rich, they're fine. So who is the problem? What is the problem of the SARS mentality? That is my question to you guys today. And if you have any answers for me, please click on the link that's attached and join the studio. You cannot continue to ask for change but not be willing to change, in my opinion, until we all unlearn the things that we've been taught and relearn it. I assure you, nothing in Nigeria is going to change. We can scream EndSARS still tomorrow. We can scream, we can fight, we can, we can remonstrate all we want. But in Moji's opinion, I don't think anything is going to change until we all start to change ourselves, until we'll all start to value the lives of everybody, not just our own, or valuing the lives of our family members. Life is not just about one person. We are all interwoven, all of us. It's sad that it took something like COVID to unite the whole world. We all came together to fight one enemy, which was COVID. And it was okay to do that during COVID times. But yet we have the Igbos fighting to become their own country. We have the Yorubas going one way. We have a lot of people saying, hey, it's me, myself, and my tribe and my family. But yet we're looking for the government to end SARS. If we don't come together with one united voice, asking to end bad governance, if we don't start doing the right things, the same young people that are marching are the same young people that will get on their laptops and do 419, and they're the same people that will 419 other people emotionally, financially, mentally, and everything that they can get, they'll take from that person. But yet you want SARS to end, so you end SARS, and then what? So SARS ends, but the SARS mentality continues. People cannot leave their homes after 6 p.m. in Nigeria. Most people are afraid to walk the streets in big cities in Nigeria. It's not just the police that's harassing people. It's the thieves, it's the kidnappers, it's the young men that have nothing better to do because the educational system is really jacked up. I was on Clubhouse yesterday. It's hilarious. I was on Clubhouse yesterday while they were talking about this issue with the government, and one particular person was trying to sell Tinubu by saying that Tinubu goes outside the country for medical treatments because he's trying to save the bed in the public hospitals for poor people. Like, really? Do you really think we're that stupid? We know you leave the country because the healthcare system in Nigeria is one of the worst healthcare systems. We have the best doctors all over the world. You have to ask yourself, why is it that all these doctors and nurses are leaving Nigeria and they're able to excel outside the country? They are able, me and other people, a lot of people that are outside the country are able to excel because the system and the people allow them to. Doctors are living in droves because they have not been paid in government hospitals for 6-7 months in some cases, but yet we expect them to stay there. Why should they? Why should they be the sacrificial lambs for people that do not respect them? I know many doctors that are driving second-hand cars, not because they don't have the qualifications to make more money, but because they just can't earn that money because people won't let them. And I say people because until we all are ready to give up being comfortable, until we all are ready to start doing things the right way, until we all are ready to stop giving bribes and taking bribes, we will not get anywhere. If you think Nigeria is going to change because you're holding placards and screaming EndSARS, honey, it's not going to. Because the same people that we stood next to, the same people that are shouting EndSARS, end police brutality, were getting ready to attack my wife and I at the same rally where they're shouting EndSARS with SARS mentality. You cannot have a debate with a Nigerian without it getting verbally bloody, without personal attacks. You cannot be on social media as a gay person that's living their life out and not in the closet without Nigerians attacking you. A lot of Nigerians need to be reprogrammed. EndSARS is the new slogan for the past few years. So what did the government do? They took off the uniform and wrote a new name, but the mentality is still the same. The same people in SARS are the same people that are now named something totally different, which goes to show that it's the mentality that matters, not the government. When we as a people come together and start doing the right things and start demanding respect and start to actually ask for what is ours, human rights for all people, human rights for women, equality, misogyny has to be eradicated, because women are doing a lot more now than they've ever done in the past. Women are working. Women are doing big, amazing things all across the globe. Nigerian women are in powerful places. But yet in Nigeria, if you don't show up with a man, you're considered a nobody. You can't even rent an apartment in big cities without a man being there with you as a successful woman. But yet we're asking the government to end SARS when we walk around with the SARS mentality. Respect has no gender, it has no color, it has no sexuality. So until we all start to stand up and speak in truth and walk in truth and walk with a moral compass that's broken, and if you already lost your moral compass, because it happens sometimes, you need to find it. Because the morality in our country shows in the government. Morality and when you talk about morality, people want to tell you, oh no, Moji, you shouldn't talk about morality because everybody's moral benchmark is different. But hey, we all know that you should not steal. That's a bad thing. We know you should not 419 people. That's a bad thing. We know you should not kill anybody. You don't need the Bible to tell you. You don't need the Quran to tell you what is right or what is wrong. It's innate in all of us. You can choose to do the wrong thing, but you can't tell me that you don't know what it is, because you need religion to teach you what is right and what is wrong. You should know that bullying is wrong, but we do that every day, right? We do that every day. So when we're talking about being authentic, being real, when we're talking about ending SARS, I'm sorry, we have to get rid of the SARS mentality first, which is me, myself, and I. We must start with us. Because even if Jesus Christ, in my opinion, comes right now to rule the country called Nigeria, there's no way it's going to work. Because if I am going in this direction and the government is trying to go in that direction, nothing's going to happen. Mohammed, what's his name? The best ruler that we ever had in the country was killed within 100 days. 100 days. He was assassinated. I forget his name. Mohammed, whatever his name is, if you remember what the name is, please give it to me. He was killed in 100 days because people were not willing to change. And until we Nigerians are willing to change, nothing's going to change. The SARS mentality of lying about everything. You can't even, every time somebody says, oh, Moji, it's sunny outside, that's Nigerian, I have to go outside and check to make sure they don't have a fluorescent light over my house. Because if as a child we were taught that if you tell people what you're doing, if you tell people where you're going, oh, the winches will wait for you. Problem is, who is a winch? Who is a witch? Me and you. You know, a lot of people say they're waiting to go to heaven. Heaven is right here on earth. Right here. It's our mentality that keeps us in hell or in heaven. It's our vision that keeps us in hell or in heaven. Yes. We are part of the problem. The government is a huge part of the problem, but guess, people migrate into politics. When the people are voting and they accept a bag of rice from each other, from the government, Muritala Mohammed, thank you, Chris Udo. You know, Muritala Mohammed was the best president, best ruler we ever had, because he made us accountable for our actions. He said, if you are a cocaine dealer, you will be killed. I don't condone, I don't endorse people being killed. But he said that, and he stood firm by his words. Muritala Mohammed said, if you're a thief, you will be killed in Barbage. And he stood his ground, and he did just that. But because he made people accountable, he was murdered. He was shot down dead in his car. And yet people are screaming end SARS. I don't know how we're going to end SARS when a lot of us, and I say us because I am Nigerian, and it's a struggle every day to stand on the line of integrity, to stand firm in my beliefs. It's very hard when people make you the enemy. You know, I will not go to Nigeria. My wife and I choose not to go to Nigeria. Not because we can afford to pay the police, not because we can afford to get the army to come and guide us to Nigeria. My mom is almost 80. I will probably never be in the same space as her again until the law in Nigeria is changed. The SSMP, the law that deems me, Moji, a criminal in my own motherland, just for being a homosexual being who God created me to be. So we choose not to go to Nigeria because if we go to Nigeria, we would have to bribe people. So everything comes with a price. We will have to bribe the police. I know for a fact, a lot of my friends go to Nigeria. They just pay the police for police escort. They pay the army to meet them in their trucks with guns 24 hours. It's not that I can afford it, but if I'm preaching integrity, if I'm preaching moral compass, fixing our moral compass, if I'm preaching doing the right thing, I cannot show up in Nigeria. I choose not to show up in Nigeria with bulletproof cars. I just won't do it, because I then will be also part of the problem. Believe me, it's a very hard choice, because who doesn't want to spend time with their biological parent? Who doesn't? I do. But I won't do it. And she's too old. She doesn't want to travel. She doesn't want to come here when it's cold. She doesn't want to come here when it's sunny. So what do? We FaceTime and all that. But I'm willing to pay the price. I am willing to pay the price. So for Nigeria to change, we all have to pay the price. We all have to be willing to pay the price. You can't keep complaining about the government, when you yourself are paying bribes, when you yourself are taking bribes, when you yourself are not doing the right things, when you yourself are calling to get your children into schools that they do not have the merit to get a seat on their own. And I know people don't follow me, they don't watch me, because me, I just speak my truth. It's not about followership for me. It's not about people liking my post. I could care less. It's about getting my message out there. And if this message is not spoken about, we're creating a horrible life for our children. Look at the generations of today. Look at what do they have to hold on to. You tell them to go to college. They go to college, there's no job. So they come out doing 419. Because they won't stand still. They won't cut their coat according to their size either. We're all responsible for this SARS thing. We're the SARS mentality. I don't know what to tell you. But the truth never changes. The truth is the truth. There's nothing we can do about it. And until we all change, you go to the bank to apply for a loan. The bank manager knows that these big corporations are not able to afford. They're not going to pay it back. And they're working with the money of poor people. They're working with the money of people that have worked all their lives on their farms. People that have worked all their life. These small people that are now flying in jets. That's the money they're working with, but yet they'll give it to big corporations that they know will never, ever pay back, because they themselves are getting a kickback on the back end. But yet they'll continue to tell you, don't worry, okay, everything is going to be fine. Let's just get rid of the government. The government is made up of people like you and I. See, until we all start to put our foot down and say, we're not doing this, we're not going to allow this. There was a place I saw a video the other day, one of the Igbo towns, where I think it's PPD or something, a political party, went in again with their bags of rice and their 5,000 naira per person, asking to get their votes in exchange for the bags of rice. And the people said, no, we don't want your bags of rice. We want jobs. We want equality. We want good roads. We want hospitals. That is paying the price for change. You can't just think because you stand up and scream EndSARS, and you have the SARS mentality, even if they give you the seat at the table. If you become the president, you will still steal money if you don't change your mentality, or you will succumb to peer pressure and revert back or join the band. For change to happen, we can no longer continue to point the finger at everybody else but ourselves. We can't. And if you continue to point the finger at everybody but yourself, as in, what can I, Moji, do to change the system? You, who's here? You, Chris, can choose not to pay bribes. You can choose not to pay bribes, not to take bribes. You can choose to do the right thing. And hopefully when your children see you walking a straight path, they too will do the same. I look at all these young people on social media, half the stuff they post, they can't afford. A lot of young girls are showering for a living. It's now normal. You call a guy invites them out and they'll be like, oh, I don't have money for transport. Then stay home. Don't go. Stay home. A lot of people are asking for women's rights. But yet when a guy takes you out to dinner, the first thing you tell him about is your cell phone bill, which you expect him to pay. But you want him to respect you and you want him to treat you not like a product. With women asking for equality. But every time you get involved with a man, you're asking the man to pay your bills. You're asking the man to pay your bills. Women have turned a lot of Nigerian women, they slip their way to the top. Shuku to all of you that do it. But you can't, don't you dare talk about equality. Don't you dare talk about you're a feminist, because you're not. Feminism has nothing to do with chivalry. And I'm not talking about showering has anything to do with chivalry. It's one thing if you're in a relationship and you're not, the person wants to take care of you, shuku to the person, male or female. I don't care what your sexuality is. Most people are money sexuals, and yet they want to look down on homosexuals. You are a money sexual. It doesn't matter if it's a man or woman that has the money, you're going after that person because all you respect is money. God is no longer God. The money is now God. Because you believe that with money, anything is possible, and people sell their firstborn child for money. But yet we're blaming the government. You can't blame poverty for everything. You can't blame. You see, for me, poverty is not currency. Poverty is the poverty of the mind. Yeah, it is. Poverty, I repeat, is the poverty of the mind. We talk about witches, we talk about this, we talk about that. A lot of people will sit there. When you're a witch, it doesn't mean that you're flying at night. Your thoughts alone can derail people because we live in a world where everything is spiritual. You have to be careful who you tell your problems to because you don't know where they'll take it to. People are all over social media. A lot of people pretending to be somebody else, pretending to be Daroshas, pretending just so they can get into the right crowds. They'll sell their soul. Like I said, it's hard being from a country where money is their God. It's hard being from a country that has oil, gas, cocoa, land, name it. We have it in Nigeria. And we're one of the most religious people in the world. So then why is it so difficult for us that allegedly know God and we always want to speak for God? Why is it so difficult then for us to do the right things? But yet they'll get dressed every Sunday and show up in church looking all fabulous to show. It's like a fashion show every Sunday. When in truth, you talk ill about the next man. SARS mentality. When somebody offends you, instead of speaking to them, you drag them. SARS mentality. Instead of being your brother's keeper, you want everything he has, including his wife. SARS mentality. You have people beaten up and brutalized. Even if somebody is upset with you, you pay the police department. You paid the police department to go pick somebody up, but yet you're screaming EndSARS. How's that going to work? How do you plan on ending SARS when you are part of the problem? That's what I'm asking us all today. To think about SARS, Who is to blame? We, the people, are part of the problem. And if you think we're not, then make a comment below. Let me know who you believe the problem is. Because we, in my opinion, pick the government. We choose the people that are going into power. And as long as everything is working out for some people and their family, everything is hunky-dory. As long, I repeat, things are working out for some people, they're cool with it. Until we start to think of all people, all Nigerians having human rights, having equality, having gender equality. Men and men will always be different. Always. I honestly believe that. But there's no reason why a woman should get paid less than a man. There's no reason why a woman should not be able to thrive in our own country. There's no reason why a woman should be considered second, third, sometimes even fourth class. In my opinion, women in Nigeria are treated worse than cattle. In Hausa land, a man will kill you if you disrespect his cattle. But yeah, women are beaten and murdered every day. And we're not speaking up. But we want to be with the in crowd and hold the placard, EndSARS. SARS is a state of mind. It's not the police department. The very reason why people collect bribes to vote for someone that has a bad record of ruling the country, that's the reason, in my opinion, why SARS is a state of mind and definitely not a police department. The youth are screaming today, every day for the past 3 years, oh, we want office, we want to be in office, but look at the way they engage with each other. Go to Clubhouse and see how your Black people are behaving, like animals, shouting and screaming and calling each other names. Why? They want to be famous, they want to be popular, and it's no matter at what cost. Then you go to the LGBTQ community in Nigeria. People come out in their underwear like, okay, even me, a gay person, I'm not cool with it. Because we all have different moral compass. A lot of trans women are prostitutes in Nigeria. They can't find jobs, they can't do this, so they succumb to sex work. They too are part of the problem. Me, God, that we're speaking, I am part of the problem. That's why I always use the word we. Because there's a lot of people I should not engage with. But because I want them to like me, I will engage with them. I am part of the problem. Absolutely part of the problem. But guess what I did in 2020? I, Moji, now chose to only be in spaces where I'm respected. Because my presence is valuable. My intellectual property is valuable. I don't care if I have 2 viewers, I will speak my truth. Because the truth is the only thing that can set us free. And believe you me, without education, we're not getting anywhere. And education is not the certificates that a lot of people are buying. Education is not you showing up in school and just winging things. Education is getting to know other people. Education is getting to know other cultures. Education is understanding our story and not just his story, because I'm exhausted. I'm tired of people blaming the colonial system. How long are we going to continue to do this? How long are we going to continue to blame the colonial masters? Like, really? We want to blame slavery for everything that happens in our lives. Why? Yes, it happened. But are we going to stay there, or are we going to heal? We're using slavery as a crutch all across the world as Black people. Enough already. Slavery is there. In Nigeria, you have the Igbos that are fighting the Yorubas and the Hausas that are doing, and they did, and we're not all going to get along. But let me tell you something, honestly, slavery was in Africa before the white man came. Every time a village goes to battle with another village, whoever wins captures all the people in the village and takes them to their village as slaves. But yet we want to blame the white man because we are so good at pointing the fingers at others. SARS mentality. Who is to blame? That is the question. If you'd like to join the studio, please do click on the link that I'm putting below and come in and talk to me. Because at the end of the day, I know I'm not crazy. At least I hope I'm not crazy. And I know that I cannot be the only one that believes that in order for change to come, we all must unlearn what we've been taught and learn how to be compassionate, how to be empathetic, how to be respectful of each other and each other's ideologies and opinions, how to get along in a market square. And it's okay for me to be different from you, because that's what drives innovations. That is exactly what drives improvements in lives. That's what drives new ideas. Everything that makes me different from you is my superpower. And everything that makes you different from me is your superpower. And until we Nigerians recognize that we cannot all be one way, and we are not all created the same way, and we all deserve to be respected as human beings first, the SARS mentality is not going to go away. This ignorance, arrogance and ignorance that we all spew is part of the problem why we are where we are today. Instead of admitting, oh, I don't know, because my views are different from the views of Yashukra, who lives in Nigeria every day of her life, because I live in America. My views are not going to be the same as anybody else's because they don't walk in my shoes, even though we might be the same size. My last is different. So until we all start to look at ourselves and what we can change, I honestly don't see Nigeria changing. They could dismantle SARS 10 times over. As long as the people still have the same programming, things will never change. EndSARS. Question is, will SARS ever really change when we Nigerians have a SARS mentality? That is the ultimate question. So I ask you all, how do you plan to change the SARS mentality? That's all I'm asking. Take it to your brothers, take it to your sisters, take it to your friends, take it to your work, and start walking with integrity. Watch it bleed into everything around you. Stop bringing bribes, stop taking bribes. Start walking the hard road. Hard times, they say. Actually, I Googled something today. Hard times, they say, builds character, right? And if you believe that, right? Hold on one second. Let me just find it for you. I found a quote this morning, and I think it's so beautiful and it's so on time for all of us that are Africans in general, not just Nigerians, because we have to pay the price for the children of the future to make it. And if we don't do that now, things are just going to get worse, right? Things are going to get worse. Hard times builds, hold on one second. Hard times. It's crazy, but if we're all looking for things to be easy, right? The world is not going to change. If we're not willing to pay the price, the world is not going to change. Nigeria is not going to change, and we'll just continue to complain. And we're so good at talking. Oh my God, we are the biggest users. Did you know that? We're the biggest users of the internet. We're the users biggest of the internet. We're the biggest users of everything, right? Hard times create strong people. Yeah, let me see. So let me get my glasses on. I'm going to read you this quote. I think it's so on time. I think it's so perfect. I think it's exactly what we need to hear. So the quote says, hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. This quote is from Michael Hoffs. If you read this quote, you will get what I'm saying. Until we are willing to become uncomfortable so that we can create change, until we are willing to stop giving bribes, to stop taking bribes, until we are willing to respect our brothers and sisters' right to be different from us, until we are willing to fight for everybody's human rights in Nigeria, until we are willing to say no to people that want to buy our votes, the SARS mentality will never go away, which means we will never, ever end SARS. My name is Moji Solar-WIlson. This is Authentic Conversations. We're having these conversations in hope that we can have authentic transformations. And transformations don't happen in our comfort zone. Transformations do not happen where we feel comfortable. And until we all are willing to give up a little bit, sometimes a lot, like my wife and I have given up a lot, to be able to live in our authentic skin. Every day I get up, I'm telling you, it's like I have to take a deep breath. I do my, because I know I'm going to bump into a Nigerian somewhere that will try to bring me down, that will try to berate me, not knowing a single thing about me, but knowing what they've been taught about homosexuals. And that, my people, my brothers, my sisters, my cousins, because that's what we all are. The world has become so much smaller. We have the internet, we have Clubhouse, we have Facebook, we have Twitter. We Nigerians have the highest numbers of users on all these platforms. But guess what trends? You know what trends? Gossip. Who's sleeping with who? Who's shagging who? Who's doing what? BB Nigeria trends more than people that are successful. Bobrisky trends more than gay lawyers and gay doctors, because that's what you want to see. You don't share videos of people like me. You don't share comments of people like me. You don't even want to hear it because it's going to make you think about your position. It's going to make you think about your contribution to the madness. And that's why I sit here every day. One viewer, I've had shows that were 12,000 views. Some that were 28,000 views. Because I was pandering. And now that I choose to stand firm in my skin, the noise has quietened down. Everybody's not going to receive your message, but keep speaking, folks. One person is all you need to change, and they'll turn around and change another person. Believe in yourself. And don't allow the world to change your core. We lack compassion in Nigeria because we've seen so much pain. We are so desensitized to pain of others. We've been taught to buy our way through the world. We've been taught to lie from when we were born. And your mother tells you, don't tell anybody you're going to Kaduna. Tell them you're going to London, so the witches don't waylay you. Our lives matter. All lives matter. Not just heterosexuals, not just men, not just women. All lives we have to fight for. All human rights. Because one day, if you let them go for somebody else, they will come for you when they have nobody else to go for. The SARS mentality is what's destroying our country. And until we start to unlearn what we've been taught and start to learn something new, SARS will always be around, because SARS mentality is not going anywhere. My name is Moji Solar-WIlson, and this is Authentic Conversations with Moji, in the hope that we will create a wave of authentic transformations. Namaste.